Welcome to a short photo video log, not so much about drawing this time, but more about a nice weekend I had. So last weekend I packed a small bag as I was going to visit a friend at the countryside. I packed a book, some clothes, my sketchbook of course, and some Kandash pastels for a little something I'll share later on. Heading for the first train station, I had a cappuccino coffee, which I drank way too fast. I arrived to wait for the train to take me to the countryside. It was raining, and when waiting for trains I like to look for interesting things, such as these colorful dots sprayed with graffiti. I wondered who might have done them, and I liked to look at them since it was just the day after International Dot Day, which is on the 15th of September. Sitting in the train, I planned on drawing a lot of people. Next to me was a girl, so I felt a bit awkward at drawing too much. I shook that off, though, by drawing a perspective drawing at the coupe before going into faces of people. I sat in the quiet zone, but school kids were going back and forth the coupe as they had no seated places. The teachers were also going back and forth, raising some tumult, and in the end it was almost like being in a cartoon. I also thought to myself, if this is the quiet zone, what is the other zones of the train called? The noisy zone? Heading out of the train and out of the cartoon, my friend Finn picked me up in his car. Here he talks about the steel bridge we cross and the way Germans used to build roads with segments resulting in bump every 10th meter or so. This is Finn's house. It's an amazing house, which costs very little compared to houses in Copenhagen. I dream of buying such a house one fine day, although it's maybe a bit too big for me and there's too much to take care of. We took a look in his garden first, where he has many projects going on. Finn's garden in a way sums up what I really like about him and why we're good friends. He likes to do projects that are fun and experimenting and goes against the norms. He has a mindset that is quite alternative. I think that's fascinating and inspiring. Who, for instance, has 2 couches placed outside in the bare air? Finn has. Another thing we have in common is our appreciation of the arts. Finn likes all kinds of art. It reminds me of the saying, good taste is broad taste. He also paints a lot, using colors that I sometimes have a hard time understanding, while other times I love them. I'll make sure to put a link in the description of this video of his newly made Instagram account so you can see his creations. After having settled, we had coffee and cake and listened to poetries and punk from the 80s on cassettes. I know I must sound like the ultimate hipster by saying that just now, but this is just because Finn shared some stories about the zeitgeist of the 80s when he was young, and the music told many of the stories. Apparently it was depressing times. The color of the 80s were grey. On the other hand, there was also the UB times and pop music that were way more happy. The next day, Finn had planned for us to visit a fruit festival nearby. But first, coffee and the obligatory cake. He also showed me some photos he finally found on the ceiling of the times when he lived in a notorious hippie area in Denmark called Thylejren. I like his photos, especially this one of a woman and a horse. It seems like it's a portrait of one being, as if the horse is her and the other way around. Anyway, the fruit festival was disappointing, apart from these microscopes where you could see leaves and apples up real close. We headed back after just an hour and enjoyed the rain outside and the fire from Finn's fireplace instead. This was life. Later, Finn took a nap while I wanted to make a piece with pastels, inspired by Finn's paintings. I had 3 wrinkled apples and decided to do a still life composition. I used purple for the cloth and started out drawing only the negative space as in Betty Edwards' brilliant technique, which I've made a video about. Feel free to check it out. I'll show a bit of the process of doing the still life here, and you can skip if you want to. I was more satisfied with the way it looked in the beginning with just a purple negative space, but it was soothing anyway to make. It became a late night of good music and wine, and on the last day I did a quick drawing before I had to venture back to Copenhagen, filled with great spirits and inspiration. Thank you for watching this little vlog/photo log here. Till next time, have fun drawing.